You gonna leave your snacks in there, bro, and your lotion?
Yes.
Nah,
Dude, leave my desk alone. It's my side.
bro, you're wildin'.
I'm not wilding.
They're gonna look at you like you got some lotion and Cheetos.
They're like, oh, he's hungry and he keeps his hand moisturized. Coming from the dude who was just asking for lotion.
What you trying to get into, yo? Like, yo, you're talking crazy right now, bro.
You're criticizing my workspace.
It's hectic. I'm good.
It's productive. That's what college students look like. All right.
I mean, that's true. Why your hands moving like that?
Nah, we good. On behalf of our good friend Mike, we're audio clap in 3.
I mean, Steve.
Steve.
Steve, man.
All right,
Wildin',
my
bro.
fault, Steve. On our good friend Steve. 3, 2, 1. All right, and we are starting. So, welcome to the Piece by Piece podcast, where we talk about all things mental health, productivity, self-improvement, fitness, and a bit of vulnerability and, life experiences. I'm your host, William Parham, and I'm here with
Mess,
also co-host. And we have a special guest today. Friend, student. His name is
Myer.
Myer. Nice to meet you. It's good to have you here. I know we've talked in the past. It's been a while since we first met. Myer and I go back to our, sophomore year?
Yeah, around that.
Yeah, sophomore year. So in 2018, before the pandemic even hit, we met in our psych class, and then we just kind of hit it off, really. What was our psych class called? I remember it was in the...
It was Psych of Learning.
Psych of Learning.
Wait, 210?
Yeah, 210.
Dude, Dr. Barrero?
It wasn't Barrero. It was a older white man.
Yo, can I ask you a question? So was UMBC more social before the
No.
pandemic hit?
No.
Or was it just like it is now?
It was... I'm a transfer, too, so
Okay.
I was more transfer-y socially.
Okay.
It was bad.
Okay, so, God, then I thought UMBC was just like...
No.
Nah.
Dude, when I came to UMBC my first year, I was miserable. This was the one school in high school I said I'm not going to. I visited Ghost Town. I was on a Saturday, so when they give the tours here? Yeah.
Bruh.
I was like, dude, what is this? High school? Anyways, today we're here to talk about 2 topics. One, we're going to learn a bit about music therapy from our good friend Myer. And 2, we're going to talk about coping mechanisms. So, kicking it off, Myer, would you like to give us some insight to what you know about music therapy?
Yeah, I'm just going to read. So on my phone, I have music therapy definition, and I think it's a pretty good one. It's from the AMTA, which is the American Music Therapy Association. It is music therapy is the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions, which we'll talk about, to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional, which I'm not, who has completed an approved music therapy program. Music therapy interventions can address a variety of healthcare and educational goals, like to promote wellness, to manage stress, to alleviate pain, to express feelings, which is what I'm interested in, enhance memory, which is cognitive, and improve communication and promote physical rehabilitation and other kind of things related to music. And music and wellness and just overall healing. But yeah. That's a lot of material. That's a big definition. It's a lot to unpack. I'm studying music therapy in kind of a psychotherapeutic context, so I'm studying a lot of psychology, a little bit of social work, and music as well to accomplish different goals in terms of emotion regulation and affect, which is kind of internalized feelings, the feelings of, and just helping people express their feelings. So that would be where I kind of lie there.
So could you give an example, so for people who aren't familiar with psychology,
Right.
An example of how music therapy could be applied in a real world situation?
Yeah, so in a functional context, you can play certain types of music and it will actually change your physiology. So if I want to get pumped up before the gym, I'm going to play something that I know pumps me up.
That's true.
Right?
That's why the pre-workout songs are the
Yeah,
game songs.
And
yeah.
Spotify comes close, right? They try to make music that helps you, they'll pick out music that has a fast tempo because we know tempo is related to that.
Mm-hmm.
Tempo is just the speed of the song, and volume intensity, right? Intensity of particular elements in the song.
Right.
If it's higher intensity, it's probably going to be something that riles you up. But like things like that are interesting to talk about. And in a therapeutic context, like, you know, helping a participant a person really accomplish their goal, right? Like, it's all about really the individualized relationship of the client. And I talk about this with my advisor all the time. It's like, with my advisors all the time, where it's like, really getting music to accomplish an outside goal for the client. And that looks different in every way, you know, and it can look different in a lot of different ways. So, right, like, I'm very interested in how music can change emotion. Some people, there's neurologic music therapy as well, where like music, to help clients play music so that they can kind of accomplish certain motor goals, you know, like movement goals, or like walking to a beat, you know, for
so
example.
similar to like dance, would you say?
Yeah, like arts, and like music therapy to me falls under the category of art and expressive therapies. So it's
It is
kind of
true.
like,
Because there are set patterns, but there isn't a pattern to follow.
yeah, I
You
mean,
have to
music's
create your own.
artistic in form. So
Right.
yeah, that's to me, that's like the essence of what I do. And like, I'm a musician at heart, who's interested in psychotherapy and interested in like getting the client to be well, getting the client to be able to function maybe independently, if that's a goal for them, or you know, to work through a specific problem they might be having, and using music as a way of maybe getting at that problem in a more targeted way.
I like that, because you did say music affects you in an emotional state, and seeing that you're a musician yourself,
Yeah.
what emotional states or what music puts you in the moods that you're searching for? Because it's almost as if like music almost has a direct correlation, control over.
It doesn't have a direct correlation.
Well, not direct, but
it does have
it
a
affects
link.
you immediately.
It can.
In that way. So like how you were saying about the gym and how it pumps you up and gets you like ready for a workout.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say, how would music like elevate or bring down your emotions?
It depends. It depends if the music's tied to a specific memory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the music is something that I haven't experienced before, and maybe I want to experience something, or if I know something similar to it, right? Because association is involved, and there's a lot of different schools of thought. Some cognitive, some associative, some more neurologic, right? Like, what I'm trying to get at here is that music's vast. Like, this discipline is really vast.
Yes.
And it's hard to like necessarily pin down like one. This causes this, you know. It's very ambiguous. And also there's
It's
a lot
all-
of different
it's out
conflicting.
there. Yeah,
well, there's just a
yes.
lot of conflicting. I mean, like, it's just it's a multi-causal thing. So you know, there's a lot of different ways of explaining one thing with music. You know.
Well, then I guess if my question might have been too vague.
No,
Is
it's not.
there-
It's yeah, but keep going.
I was gonna ask, is there perhaps a genre that, you know, may trigger you? I don't want to use that word.
For me,
Brings
I
your
mean,
emotions out the best.
like for me, I mean, like, music genres. I thought about this too, where like, it really, so like, it's really hard. Like for me, it's really hard to classify music into genres specifically too, when it comes to emotion, because like, but I would say that like, for me, like certain types of lo-fi hip hop or jazz calm me down. Certain types of, you know, I don't want to say that's like a direct thing. It's like for me, you know, like, because everyone reacts to music differently. If there's anything that anyone can take away from this, is that it's totally individualized and highly variable. So for me, I really like lo-fi jazz, hip hop, certain types of hip hop at least, you know, yacht rock, you know, other things.
Yacht rock. I've
like
never heard
classic
that.
rock, soft rock.
Oh, okay.
Soft rock, or I mean, like for something to calm me down, or like, you know, or jazz. I'm a big jazz person, so I'm very interested in how jazz can be incorporated into music therapy.
Okay.
Or just like any type of non-classical. Favorite jazz song.
What's your favorite jazz performer?
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Ooh, I really like Herbie. I mean, like Herbie Hancock's great.
Herbie Hancock.
But like, I mean, I like a lot of performers. A lot of the new stuff's good too. There's, I mean, I listen to, in my free time, who do I listen to? So I really like, I don't want to like mention like specific artists per se though, because I don't know if the permissions is out.
Oh, true.
You know? But I really like, you know, like more modern fusion. Like but really I'm pretty open. Like it really depends what I'm in the mood for. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
I
I seek something out and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. Of course, I mentioned Herbie because he's so influential, and just genre spanning as an artist. I also think of like, but like that's the thing. Like longevity means a lot to me. So like someone who's done it for a long time, you know, someone
It's
who's
a good track record.
yeah, has a good track record. Yeah, like people who have good, and like I think of music as kind of an athletic pursuit in that way, right? Like it's like people who have a good consistency and good track record over time, and like also like I try and like artists that I've been listening to lately are just people who I relate to on some level, right? Like that's also ultimately what it is too. It's like I want to relate to those artists because I see the reflection of them of myself in them, or maybe they're teaching me something about the world that I don't necessarily know yet. So it's things like that, you know. Or dreams, like I think dreams are really important in music too, right? Like aspiring to maybe achieve something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
like
was thinking sleeping. I was like, wait.
That's
where's
what I
the-
thought too for a second.
no, not sleeping per se, but like dreams, like
daydreaming.
like
Goals.
better goals, exactly. Goals that I haven't yet attained yet. So like, you know, like if there's a really cool performance of something, like Yusef Days. Yusef Days
Top tier.
is a jazz drummer who did this really cool performance at Joshua Tree National Park. Great performance. It's really pretty. It's really well filmed. That would be something really cool to do. That would be a cool thing. That would be a cool project for me to be on.
Is that the video when it looked like he was like in the sky or like on water?
No, that's FKJ.
FKJ. Thank you.
That's
Okay.
FKJ. Yusef Days did something similar.
Gotcha. Oh man.
But similar, yeah. But like, you know, like this, like French Kiwi Juice is the other artist that was mentioned.
French
FKJ.
kiwi juice.
FKJ.
Oh, that's what it stands for. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm terrible.
No, you're good.
I never knew what FKJ stood for.
I'm a big fan. He's right up the alley of like kind of artistry that I really like sometimes. But yeah, like, you know, that's music that if that's kind of the vein of music therapy that I'm in, and music therapy in a nutshell for people who don't necessarily know too much about what music therapy is. I hope people do their own exploring. You know, I know that there's not a lot of music therapy in Maryland, or like I haven't like seen a ton in some ways. Like, I don't want to just say that outright. I think there's some music therapy in Maryland, but I haven't like explored it too much. So I've done a lot of my own independent study, and like, cut that out. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But if you are a music therapist in Maryland, please reach out because, like, yeah,
You're looking.
better connection. Better connection's important.
I like it.
Talk about
That's it.
your independent study.
Well, my independent study is exploring music and emotion. So it's really about music and mindfulness, exploring those topics in detail, ways in which we model emotion in psychology. There's kind of competing methods to how we model emotion in psychology, and I'm exploring those and talking about them in terms of how music might change the way, you know, like how to recontextualize it in terms of like music. Yeah, it's hard to explain in words.
It's almost like understanding a language.
Well, understanding these models of emotion, and then in a musical context, how music like
Creates
how
these
adding
emotions.
music, how music interacts with emotion through these different lenses or perspectives on emotion.
No, that is pretty cool.
So like, yeah, and Yeah. And there's two, like, I don't know if you take, like, I'm thinking about the emotion class that, like, there's a particular class on emotion that's taught here, where we learn about different types of emotions. So that's where the inspiration for this project came from. It's like we were learning about different styles of how to model emotion and how people think of emotion and how emotions predict, and how basically, like, there's a lot of different science around emotion and how if emotion's predictive or if it's not predictive and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking about, how does music impact this? You know, how does can we predict a particular emotion with music? You know, that's the big question, right?
Right.
Like, can I intentionally elicit emotion with music? And that's kind of the question. That's a big question. And then it's like, more talking about specific cases of that, where that can happen and where that may not be able to happen and things like that. So that's really what the capsule is all about. It's about exploration in this concept.
That's super interesting because, like, everyone, like you said, is individualized. Everyone has their own, like, niche for certain music that makes them feel the type of way. And that's why I was going to let
But then there is moody music, right? There is moody music, but it's individualized to the person. It's individualized to the client.
Like, it creates their own emotions, so to speak. That's why I was going to ask Mess. You've been on the music scene. You're still in the music scene a bit. Mm-hmm. When you go to concerts, like, you're not experiencing maybe like an orchestra. You're like more so. If you could describe the type of genre. Of music
I would say so.
What emotions?
So it's between rap. Sorry. So it's between rap and like hardcore shows. So I would say. I guess I would say the most emotion you see is probably like. I would say more on the. I'm not gonna call it more positive. Sometimes it's just hype.
Well,
Sometimes
talk in terms
anger.
of you, like how you
like,
feel.
oh, usually I'm hyped. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
there'll be certain bands like in the hardcore side. When I mean hardcore, I mean so pretty much when I say the term hardcore, I mean like mix between hardcore metal and punk. So a lot of it depends. So some bands lean on the more political side. So sometimes it's kind of like just utter chaos, and it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're moshing. You're like having fun. Some bands are more, they'll talk about certain things like heartbreak and stuff like that. And like sometimes the bands will mix kind of like more heavy elements where sometimes I'll feel like, I feel this way. So, I kind of want to like let all this energy out. And also that applies to certain artists on the rap side too. But it's kind of like, they'll talk about more like, emotional, type of things. And it's like, honestly, pretty much at least a mosh pit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm usually hyped. Like, as there's some I've been to so I went through a point in time where I used to listen like a lot of indie stuff, like Foster the People.
Oh gosh, Pumped Up Kicks.
Yeah, bro. Man, nah.
That's big, yeah.
Like, I'm saying, like stuff like that. So like, I mean, I do have an understanding. Like, there is a time and like, sometimes I used to listen to this band called Number 12. They were more like ambient. So some people call it ambient core because they have some heavy instrumentalization. Hold on, am I saying that right? Heavy instrumentalizations.
Instrumental.
I'm sorry. Sorry. So heavy instrumentations where like, okay, you would hear from like a heavy, like somewhat metal, like metalcore band, which is kind of like, I mean, pretty much comes in the name, but yeah, but they wouldn't have no lyrics. They wouldn't have any lyrics. It would just be kind of like literally just ambient, and it's kind of chill vibe,
Right.
Yeah, that's where you see the people. I don't want to say this, but it's kind of like the jazz of the heavier genres, like.
There's math rock, yeah.
Math rock.
I mean, like the whole concept of math rock,
yeah.
Infusing in something
Yeah.
jazz. There's that's happening too.
Yeah, because math rock is really it's extremely technical.
Yeah.
I don't listen to math rock as much, or like, but it's very interesting. It's actually very interesting music because it's like especially when they mix it with other genres too. You know what I'm saying? Like there's this thing called like twinkle emo. I don't know if it's still you mean that thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Not completely.
Like,
I've heard maybe the name.
Like this band like Tiny Moving Parts. They kind of integrate those two. They kind of integrate those two sounds, but math rock. So yeah, it's very interesting. And the type of I guess like people you see in this, like there are people that listen to like heavy, like on the heavier side of the music, and you'll see them like at a math rock show, which I'm like, damn, those are usually the people that actually know how to play instruments. I've noticed that, and I'm like, damn, they actually have like a deeper understanding, I guess for this aesthetic. So, because me, I don't really play instruments that much. So, I'm more on the heavier side, like, of music. And I'm just like,
Like a listener more than like the player.
Yeah, because the thing is, even when it came down to rap, bro, I'm not a lyricist whatsoever. You know, shout out to the people who are lyricists. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm just trying to see something happen. I'm sorry, man. That's how it feels to me. You know, I'm just trying to see something happen. Like, almost like.
I feel like I can vouch for both of you.
Like, what you trying to get into? Not into like I'm about to fight you type. What you trying to get
What are
into?
you about to do with it? That's why I can relate to both of you on such like a heavy like level because I appreciate, you know, the way instruments can trigger my emotions and make me feel in terms of like a setting environment. But the lyricism kind of that's what sparks memories for me. So
Right, and so a lot of times I'm working with wordless music because that's another variable, and I want to just say, okay, well,
like SKJ kills wordless music.
Yeah, kills
like,
it.
I feel like I'm either going on a journey or I'm in the middle of the rainforest about to go study or something. I don't know.
Do you remember Cloud Cold, the band Cloud Cold?
Cloud Cold?
Yeah.
Nah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a familiar name, but I don't know. I don't know it directly.
Well, just giving my personal input now because I kind of want to talk about this too. Music inspires me, so to speak. Music, if I can say it gives me any emotion, it gives me hope. Like my top 5 artists are Tom Misch, Gold Link, Big Sean.
Gold Link.
I like Gold Link, but I'll explain. Big Sean, Fabulous, and it's a tie between Wiz Khalifa and Drake for me. Like, the only reason Drake switched up for me, because I was a big fan of like 07, 08 Drake when he was strictly rapping.
Okay, all right.
When Drake strictly rapped, I was like, this dude hits hard.
You said Drake and Wiz Khalifa. I mean, that's just like
No,
big.
I know it's a big difference, but look. So I'll take.
Chill out, Steven.
I think of these two. I think of these two exact albums when I mean Wiz Khalifa and Drake. When I think Wiz Khalifa, I think Rolling Papers. That's the only thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
And when I think Drake, I think of October's Very Own or Take Care.
Good albums. That was
Yeah.
really good
So those 3 albums like are the only ones I think of when I think of those 2 artists. But moving on to what I was saying about Gold Link. Gold Link is a DMV rapper, clearly. But he has such a unique music that comes with his rap. Like it's not like a drill beat. It's either like it's a nice instrumental that comes
like
in.
he has some interesting people on his stuff. Like,
Yes.
I mean, like initially like Louis Lastic and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know direct artists, but like it's I can
See
get
what
behind
I'm going with
I
it?
can get behind it too.
Yeah, like he had Pink Pantheress on there, and before she like blew up to where she is now, like her voice was just so elegant and unique. It just like it gave me that dainty feeling with his hard like lyricism.
Well, I don't really like know a whole lot of Gold Links. Like,
You know, Crew.
no, I mean I know that, but he was like I've noticed that he does like a lot of like not like poppy stuff. I don't really like listen to him like really rap. Honestly, I've only heard really like his big products, not like big projects, and it's just kind of like what was I gonna say? He does like a lot of like pop and pretty much like experimental stuff. Pretty much at this point, I know he was a rapper.
It's almost
essentially,
experimental,
but, like,
independent. Like
yeah.
his first few albums, they were almost like big, like black activism.
Wait, he used to push on like Afro beats and stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay, so I
Yes.
think I remember. Yeah.
I'm looking this up right now just to be sure because I want to be positive. I'm getting this album right.
I have a few friends that worked with him before like he got big, and
Yeah, it was, and after that we didn't talk. His first album.
Ah, that was a good album.
Yes, the artwork beautiful, the song list insane. Like it was, that got me through my freshman year of college. That was, like my first breakup, to just going through lacrosse and dealing with the stuff I had dealt with. But moving on from that, music puts you in a place of inspiration, and then as well, leading to our next topic, it also serves as a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, give me a sec, I gotta get my notes again that I just had and just disappeared. Let's see. If I can put it in my own words, a coping mechanism is a technique used to bring yourself back to a state of homeostasis. I say this. Homeostasis meaning when you're feeling imbalanced, it brings you back to that balance level. So coping, like whether like in terms of mood, if you're feeling too happy or you're feeling, too sad, you find something that puts you back in that state of functionality.
That's
Does that
interesting.
make sense?
Hey, that's interesting because when I'm sad, honestly, I just put sad music on. I don't really like try to like uplift my mood. Like I know it's weird, but
Yeah.
like at least
Well, it's not weird. It's just making sure that you're.
And then I have the
well.
definition.
You know.
According to the American Psychological Association, a coping mechanism is any conscious or non-conscious adjustment or adaptation that decreases tension and anxiety in a stressful experience or situation.
so. Do you?
Just mellowing out.
So are you saying you listen to like, say for example, for sad, do you listen to sad music or do you listen to happy music?
I listen to is it really sad or I'd say it's happy music, but it's like music that makes me think about like why I'm feeling this way. So like Wiz Khalifa, if I'm feeling sad, I listen to The Race. I don't know if you know that song.
I personally have not listened to Wiz
Okay, so on
Khalifa
Rolling
in so long.
Papers, there's this song called The Race, where Wiz Khalifa is pretty much talking about being grateful for where he is now and then looking back to where he was. Sure, it wasn't where he wanted to be, but the whole the whole concept of the song is he's in a race with other people, but more importantly, he's in it with himself. So looking at the starting line, it was like, oh, uncertainty, the goal so far away, and now that he's hit that goal and he's still like in this race, he's realizing, oh, looking back at it all, it's amazing. Like I remember before, women never used to hit my phone. Now they're walking to my home, or like just like he's used to talk about being a millionaire. Now they're making millions. Like he's far exceeded his expectations. So when I'm sad, I always think about where a song makes me think about where I was at a darker time, and thinking about where I am now. So yes, maybe I'm down in the feels about it, but I didn't stop. I kept going, and look where I'm at now. So I kind of think of music that makes me reflect, but puts me in that hype for like don't stop now, keep going type of vibe.
And that's also the thing. There's no such thing as like happy music or sad music. It's not necessarily that I mean, yes, there are elements of music that are like happy, and there are elements of music that are sad.
Right.
But there's not really like a song that can just make you happy or a song that can make you sad. Because
So
songs
that's a
vary
forever.
in between. There's so much stuff that happens in a song.
Right.
You know?
You caught on what I was saying. You know that song Pharrell made?
Oh, happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Also, I was
saying.
thinking, Tom Misch actually made. No, Tom Misch also made a song called "Happy Music" under a pseudonym Super Shy.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's a Tom
so-
Misch fan I am. Hold on.
Yeah, it's house music. He it's like his foray into house music. It's cool. Like yeah, like I mean like
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I found it.
I mean it's just like and especially like the whole. I mean like he made that album What Kind of Music, so yeah, that was very influential to me as well. Throughout my college career, especially during COVID, I remember listening to that album a lot. And like,
Dude, Tom changed my life.
he's a good artist.
Top tier. Highly recommend you guys take a listen if you're interested.
Yeah, and like, it's fun. I mean, like, that's the thing. Music provides meaning for a lot of people, and some people it doesn't, but that's okay. We're all in the world. I think it can be a helpful tool for someone's recovery, and also it's a coping mechanism. Music is a coping mechanism for a lot of people because it
Right.
reduces anxiety.
Correct.
And like on other coping mechanisms that might not be for you. I mean, music might not be for everyone. So it's like
Are there ever cases where
sports.
you would recommend someone not to listen to a certain type of music?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good
If
question.
there's a
Good
particular
question,
trigger,
Steve.
I mean, if it's triggering, yeah. I mean, like, and also like, well, if there's a memory associated with music, which if there's a particular time in which you're listening. I mean, I don't do this, and also I'm not one to recommend stuff because I want the client to figure out what stuff works for them and what doesn't.
That's fair.
But
Have you ever
if I were to work with a client,
Ever seen those? So I recently saw. I'm not an interviewer, but this is an interesting question.
I'm open to any question. Yeah, say what you gotta
So,
say.
I remember there was this TikTok song that I heard, and I was just like, it was addicting. It was like those edits that they got. That
Yeah,
like,
auditory
pump you
cheesecake.
up.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
But then there was this one where I looked it up on YouTube, and it immediately was just like suicide warning. I was like, what the hell?
Was it the Logic song?
I don't think it was the Logic song. It was like a funk, whatever it's
Funk.
What's an auditory
one of those
cheesecake?
workout
Yeah, dude, that's a
songs, right? One
phenomenon.
of those workout edits. But it was just like when I looked at the lyrics, it was like it didn't seem all that, but it was just like somehow this was triggering people in this direction. And I've heard of like, Marilyn Manson, where you got some crazy songs.
Yeah.
Are there moments where, based off your knowledge of music, like, certain types of music are just not healthy for people in a way?
I wouldn't call it, like, I wouldn't put a classification, but, like, if there's a particular song that someone knows will trigger them, like, I'm not going to tell them to listen to that song.
Sparky Death Cap.
That's it.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh man, that was a song.
I'm uncultured.
My fault. It's an old song, but it's like.
I mean, but like also, that's what we were talking earlier about the 26 Club, right? So like.
Yes.
Like musicians go through a lot.
The 27, 26
I think it's
Club.
27 Club.
I'll look it
Well,
up.
it used to be. Now they call it 21 Club nowadays.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's a sad time.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yep, it's 27 Club.
Yeah.
It's an informal list consisting of mostly popular musicians, artists, actors, and other
Amy Whitehouse
celebrities
was one of them.
who died at the age of 27. Although claim of a statistical spike, it's been refuted by scientific research, but it's still like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
Yeah.
it isn't like real. I mean, we don't call it real, but like it's still kind of like there's a mythos behind
Like
it.
esoteric almost? No.
Esoteric, that's
It
more-
makes me like actually to be real, right?
Yes.
It's not. I mean, like there's a lot of cultural like media stuff. I wouldn't listen to a lot of that. I mean, like I'm all about wellness and health, and so it's like don't go on the internet if you're trying to be well. Like go to a doctor.
Facts.
That
People,
was-
No, that's
a
true.
good thing to look into because a
They-
lot of people go on the internet when let me not say a lot of people. Based on what I have seen, people I've watched go on the internet when they're not feeling their best. Like they go on their phone as a way of coping.
I was gonna say I've noticed. So we had a person we interviewed actually a few weeks ago, and he explained how TikTok is actually very terrible for that because ironically, I was one day I was like walking around campus and I saw something that was like it was like, all right, one was like talking about something nostalgic, and the next thing was like something really like like I guess not only is the more empowering, but like some like motivational type thing. So I went from like talking about like early that was the nostalgia to all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to take on the world, and like he made a good point. He's like, that's not healthy. Your brain should not go through so many emotions and you walking from like pretty much the breezeway to, because I'm like, damn man, I miss those cool flip phones, Then next thing you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to bench, like I'm trying to go crazy in the gym, you feel me? But he was like, bro, do you not see how crazy, you not see how extreme those emotions, bro? It's like, that was kind of crazy. Like,
Switch up more than the weather in Maryland.
Yeah, give me one.
Nah, it's facts.
Right, lability, right? They call it, when your emotions are fluctuating from so many different things. Like, and I'm like, dude, no one's alone in this. Like, I'm also very working through my own stuff. So I would rather not like publicly talk about that, but it's very important to understand that like we're not alone in this. It's a very these are common phenomenon that happen, and
Right. It's hard to.
Everyone copes in their own way though.
A lot of people don't express that because most people, will keep to themselves because they think, oh, if I act out of term, people will judge me. At least that's how I view myself sometimes. Now I'm very open with expressing how I feel, but prior, I would never express myself because I feel like I'd just be tearing other people down, like infringing on what they're going on through life. Like I don't want to be that Debbie Downer in a party full of smiles.
It's also like you'd want to validate them, right? Like I think it's like whenever someone's talking vulnerably, you want to validate their emotions,
Right?
And validate what they're going through and validate the experience, and not just like kind of deny them,
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. What is auditory cheesecake? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
No, because honestly, I've been thinking about this since you said it. I generally,
Auditory cheesecake?
yeah, no, I want him to. Is that something in your field?
Yeah, that's a term in the music psychology field.
Okay.
You can look it up. Like,
No, I'm just
Alright,
generally.
I don't know.
been curious. But do you?
It's basically like this idea that like music being crafted to like get at the psychological like
response.
get at those like I
Yeah.
mean it's candy, ear candy is the same type of term.
I don't think-
According to Steven Pinker,
yeah.
it's an invention that tickles the brain like cheesecake tickles the palate. Cheesecake packs a sensual wallop, unlike anything in the natural world because it's a brew of megadoses of agreeable stimuli, which we concocted for the purpose of pressing our pleasure buttons.
I wonder if that's like study music, because study music is the only thing that really like. I'm not gonna say like it helps me, but so people always say, I don't know how to explain this, and I don't know if I'm contradicting myself, but whenever I type in music to pump me up or whatever on YouTube, it is complete opposite. It actually does the most adverse reaction where I'm like, this is whack.
Fuck.
So study music. So any of the like those pumping up like. On Spotify, I don't even give I actually know I did give Spotify a chance with the study music selection. It was decent, but anything that involves energizing completely destroys my mood, and I'm like, get the shit out of here. So, like honestly, like and like he did make a good point. Yeah, the music that will pump you up might bring another person. I don't want to say down, because like some people might like I have friends that listen to more like jazz music and stuff like that, and I appreciate it because a lot of the stuff that came from jazz transferred over to rap, but to like the music, listen, mostly on the rap like I listen to, so you know what I'm saying, so you should always give homage to where it came from. I'm big on that. I hate ungrateful ass people. But anyway, before I start ranting, like I'm sorry, like I generally despise like ungrateful ass people, bro, when it comes down like forgetting like what they came from.
Some people who are ungrateful don't understand it. Just to counteract it, like ignorance is bliss type of thing. If you grew up wealthy and well off all your life, you don't really understand someone who doesn't have it because you always had what you wanted.
Was it
like
privilege?
The best example I can give, I talked about this with some friends this past weekend, is like Northwest, Kanye's daughter.
Oh.
Like she's set for life. She really doesn't know what she will most likely not experience poverty.
I mean, she's showing Ice Spice, bro, like 8 or 10 years old. That's wild.
Exactly. So
Like,
just
for
think
real.
about that,
Yeah.
and then compare that to like a regular Baltimore County kid's, student. It's
I see what you mean.
Yeah, she might not be acting ungrateful, but more so she's been conditioned to always get what she wants.
So when I mean ungrateful, yeah, I can see where you come from. When I mean ungrateful, it's people that are like, they'll be playing music, and they'll think that, how can I explain this? So, all right, right now, I might hurt some feelings, honestly. Like,
Say what you gotta say.
So
Say it.
I've noticed a lot of people right now. What's really big in like rap, it's sample music. People are forgetting where some of these songs come from, especially when they use jazz samples.
Kanye.
No, I mean, no, but he's been doing this for a while. No, chill. Hold on.
He's not a sampler.
Kanye actually famously sampled from Steely Dan, and got sued for it.
Whoa.
In the song Champion,
Yeah.
Do you realize that he was a champion in that? That's by Steely Dan. That's like a famous old Steely Dan song by
And he got sued.
this kid Charlemagne, and he got sued by Steely Dan because he didn't give credit.
Dang, did not know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
It's like one of my favorite little sample stories.
So when I mean by the samples, I don't know if you listen to like really what's going on, like honestly, maybe from like the underground perspective.
Nope.
So right now we have this thing called people say sample MV, like sample R&B, sample drill. So pretty much essentially everyone knows if you put two and two together, drill beat, whatever. New York, UK. First of all, UK drill beat, mix it with samples of like the early thousands. People would deal with like some emo bands, or some like jazz, like some jazz artists and stuff. I'm not too versed in jazz artists, but I can. When someone tells me, oh, like they got this from jazz artists, it's like it's always good to give credit to those type of people, because for one, if it wasn't like, how can I explain this? It's still, jazz is still, even though main people would not hear it, but like it was still like a component of like what rap is now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think, I don't know, how can I explain this? I think of like a reductionist term. You know what I'm saying? I'm big on like, oh, so this stemmed from here. Like, how can I explain this? Like in my head, when I think of music, I think of a chart, and like it's almost like a tree of life. You know what I'm saying? What's that called? Lineage. I'm big on that.
Big on that. Yeah,
So
it's really important.
yeah. So right now, what's really big is like samples. So people like mostly like it'll be like younger people be like, yeah, hell yeah, this is hard. And I'm like, bro, you don't even know where this artist came from. Like, or like the sample you're using is coming from. And now you're mad as hell that your music's getting taken out from Spotify because you didn't give people their credit. That's what I mean by being ungrateful. Like, look, I'm from New York, bro. So like, I still got friends right now. They're producing in New York. They'll get someone produce. It's actually a big, well-used sample. What's the one guy? Was it Bobby Caldwell? I ain't gonna lie. I thought this
I
dude,
love Bobby
like I thought this
I
dude. I
love
ain't gonna lie. I
Bobby
thought this dude was black. I thought this dude was black until I saw a picture. Like, what the fuck?
I've come
Like,
to Bobby.
like, bro. So he has a song. It's like It's the most
What You
famous
Want
song.
To for Love.
Yeah, literally. Bro, and like people like in New York, like if you type it in, there's a bunch of artists that use the sample. So I saw the one that was known to use it the most. Guess what? His song got taken down from Spotify, probably because, like I said,
Royalties.
Yes, that, I mean, that's on the business side, but also they didn't credit like the actual guy. I'm like, bro, like at least credit the guy you sample from. But the thing is, I get it. You know, these kids are also probably so far like from like the years they were born. These kids are probably born like 2007, 2008 type stuff. Maybe like 06. They're not gonna know who Bobby Caldwell is. You know what I'm saying? Unless if their parents put
So
like,
good.
but the thing is, you know what I'm saying? But like the thing is like that's because they're forgetting the lineage of like some of the music comes from. You know what I'm saying? Especially with samples. These people have to be careful with sampling music because they will take you for everything you got, and respectfully so.
Well, I think it's balanced. You know, I mean, like, you know, fair compensation, and yes, I think it's not necessarily a gratitude issue there, but more so just a crediting issue. That, you know, if you're using someone else's music, you gotta cite your music. It's like an academic. It's like
Right.
Yeah.
Give credit where it's due.
Yeah, because like composition's hard work. It just is. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, right? There's songwriting, arranging, production, mixing, mastering, and of course there's composition in between all those steps. So it's like that's like a 6-step process right there, and all those processes take weeks for a song to really get produced in the right way. I mean, like, and a lot of times there's a lot of shortcutting now, but especially since, and it's good because technology's been democratized, right? Like, we can now record stuff in a library now. Straight up.
That's actually that's mad valid.
Because
Yeah.
technology has been democratized in this way, and that's great. But you know, it also means that like it's also able to be misused or whatever. You know. And
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of interesting stuff with the philosophy of technology and how that interplays with music technology.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if that's like something to dive into now, but like just I'm basically the thing that I'm saying is like I hope this cultivates some sort of sense of learning throughout this podcast, right? If there was anything that I want to vouch for, it's not that you should do your own research, but more so that you should cultivate a sense of curiosity and wonder in what other people are doing and learning from it.
So, how can I say this? Adding to your arsenal, so to speak. Like,
Just like
help me understand a little better.
Like just like learning. I
Just
mean, like
learning.
being curious, being wonderful, being like a wonderful person.
Okay.
Would you say when you mean to kind of like almost like, do you mean to kind of like not like reach out more, but to kind of almost expand your horizons, like
Be open-minded.
like
yeah.
be open-minded, yeah, because yeah,
I mean, open-mindedness is a good quality, and it's been hard for
a lot of people.
a lot of people to make. Or like I can see, it's been hard for me. I mean, personally, to be open-minded, right? Like it's like I've been sheltered a lot of my life too, so it's like, you know, everyone's sheltered in their own way. You know?
No, that's very true. Yeah, I would say that. Actually, it took me a while to understand that, like, in a way, like, I was... Well, if I get too much into it, like, everyone has, like, their own definition of sheltered. My definition of shelter was definitely completely, like, what most people think, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like, oh, you know, upper class, you know, you really don't know what's going on. But I also realized that people that I grew up with, we're kind of sheltered away from understanding how the people that we consider sheltered live. Because for a while I couldn't like relate to people who like came from like upper class neighborhoods and stuff like that, and I'll be like, man, you guys are really antisocial. No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I couldn't understand, and it took me a while that I'm like, yeah, it definitely took me a while to understand that I'm like, like Anyway,
You're
yeah,
good.
like,
You're
bro.
good. No,
So
I
anyway,
feel that because me personally, like if I can make up my own definition for sheltered, it's just denial of stimulation from uncomfortable circumstances. That's the best way I could see as sheltered. Like for me, I'd say I'm fairly sheltered because not growing up with like mom or dad, I didn't get to see like how that interaction worked. I grew up with my grandparents who were well off, retired and done with everything they did with their lives. So I'm in the house with them doing what they do, thinking that's normal, realizing like, oh, I should be out socializing with friends or like doing something in my own free time outside of sports. I shouldn't be, you know, watching TV with them or washing dishes or going to bed super early. Don't get me wrong, going to bed on time is cool, but like
It's hard, man. It's a hard thing to do.
There's a whole
man.
world out there that you can be learning from and like really diving into, like really building your character and understanding who you are and how you act in certain situations in the world, whether you like something or not. And most of it, we might not realize that till later on in life,
Yeah.
but being sheltered, it's just like you're being closed off early from that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Shelter might not always be a bad thing, though.
Oh yeah, of course, it's never a bad thing, never a bad thing. Just speaking from my experience, I feel like if I had not been sheltered, I don't think I'd be in college.
Okay.
I think I'd be a loose cannon. Like I'd
Just
probably,
out there.
I might be on Jackass. I'll be real. I think I'd probably be like with Steve-O or something. Think about it. Like this is like this year alone.
I mean,
As long as you know me, like that's me getting out of my unsheltered state.
oh,
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
that's kind of wild. I never really thought about it. Like,
Cause all I played was sports and like either that or I was going home to sleep or just like going to school. Now I'm actually like interested in the world.
okay, I seen that. I seen that. The only like I mean, besides like I like to travel and also like I'm big on like, actually, yeah, I'm pretty much. Yeah, like I said, I like to travel and I like to listen to all kinds of music. Like originally, I literally used to listen to literally like only like metal or rap, and
X.
then I literally had to be
X.
like, all right, hold on, man.
X.
Lyricism is a little like like I respect it, but like I am not gonna lie, man. Sometimes, man, I don't know. Maybe I just like just don't care for lyricism as much. Like sometimes.
It's
Hey,
each
hold up,
own.
Steve, chill out. I'm gonna explain to you, bro. I have like the worst attention span. Like if that shit is like not, like I don't know. When it comes down, so it took me a while to understand like jazz and stuff like that and math rock and stuff like that. It's do something like the way they play the guitar with like it hit like a certain part of my brain. I'm like, this is nice. I know, like literally, like I don't know what it was, bro. But like when I listen, like I don't know, like so my older brother used to listen to a lot of people like Big Pun and stuff like that. Like it'd be so shout out, Lamont Coleman, so like anyway, so like so I would like I guess I just got so used to hearing this and I'm like, bruh, I heard this. I walk outside, I see this, I feel it, but at the same time it's kind of like, man, I'm trying to get like.
Do you feel desensitized?
I
Like you've heard so much of it, it's just like, eh.
kind of, like generally, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, we can habituate to music. Like,
Yeah.
like music is something that like we get used to. Like everything else, it's a stimuli. So.
Elevator music.
Yeah, like growing up in certain areas, like I used to get clowned at for listening to like metal. Like when I used to be out turners, people would be like, "Yo, what you listen to that screamo music for, yo? Like you wildin', like what the
You're not alone. I used to think
So
anime
yeah,
music
no, bro,
slaps.
you don't understand. They used to clown me, so I'd be like, damn,
Bro,
man, I gotta
got bullied for listening to anime
hide my
music.
music. I gotta have my music from the homies and shit. You know what I'm saying? From the gangsters that I call them. Some of them were really on demon time, and so like it's kind of like, oh fuck, let's start. Yeah.
Steve's like, yeah.
Steve, yeah. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, but like I said, like it was very like interesting. Yeah, it just I don't know how to describe this. Like they would just clown me, bro, and I would just had to fight. What? Like a lot.
You weren't talking into the mic, that was all.
Oh shit. Oh wait, man, it's just kind of
I mean, I can
because
hear
he's
you.
got a good mic, but like I thought he was gonna say something. I thought you had something to say on this.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. Where we want to go? Coping mechanisms more, or
Well, now I think since we got both music therapy and coping mechanisms out the way, we have 13, 15 minutes left. We can get into chop time if you guys are interested.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So.
All right. So this part of the section is called chop time. Chop time is where we just talk about whatever going on in the world,
yeah.
the topic. That
Yeah,
we
like
had.
it's kind of like.
The topic you guys all, Steve, Mess, Myer, what you guys all had in common, Brooklyn, New
Oh,
York.
because we were kind of opening it up. So.
All
All
right,
right.
that's like a good way to go into chop time.
So in New York, all right. So in New York, we listen to all kinds of music. You know what I'm saying? So like, so my thing, I had a homie that was Puerto Rican and Jewish, bro. My man used to listen to nothing but reggaeton. You feel me? And like, of course, like rap. So it was like for me, like I wasn't really used to it like that. Like from like seeing like. I didn't really have like a whole lot of Jewish homies. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So I remember he introduced me to someone. Yo, this like this dude's like the dude he introduced me to was like old head. He kind of like do reggae and like rap. Mati, it was like Matiyahu or something like that. Matiyahu. So it was this dude, bro. Like he was like so. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but he kind of dressed a certain way. Like I don't want to call it Hasidic. What's it called? I'm sorry. Hasidic.
Maybe Orthodox, maybe just.
No, or like Orthodox. It looked like very traditional. Like he would have like
The sideburns.
like yeah, we have the sideburns, but he had like the braids and stuff. And
Yeah.
the thing is, he would rap, but he would do like a lot of reggae stuff. And I thought like, oh shit, damn, that shit like different. Like yo, I guess I just didn't expect that to come from that image. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being honest, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, but then again, I'm like, I remember like being in New York, bro. You would see a bunch of crazy shit. So I'm like, yo, whatever. Like everyone's pretty much mixed here out here. So I'm saying, all right. So it was like,
Evio.
nah, bro. So type in this guy Matis. Matiyahu, bro. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mati.
Bro, like, bro, he was a Jewish dude, right?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, he used to
Wait,
go.
Mati.
Beautiful voice.
Yeah, he did.
Beautiful
Matisyahu. Yahu. Am I true?
You know, you're right.
Matiashu.
He was on 2K.
Matiyahu. Yeah,
He's
yo,
on
bro,
2K.
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yes.
Yo, that shit was
Whoa.
crazy, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
What is this?
Holy.
He was this Jewish.
Matiashu. He's a
He was this Jewish.
Is he Israeli or what?
Flip it. Honestly, bro, I'm not.
No idea.
I have no-
Fire.
Bro, he was a good artist, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Oh, wow.
so my homie would come through the court and just have him blaring. And you know, like, usually, bro, like, people really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Be like, whatever, bro. You play music. So, you know, we out here, like, he would say some things in, like, Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? But people, like, we didn't know what he was saying. So we just playing ball. We're like, all right, yo, like, to the beat, this shit's hard. You know what I'm saying? I would catch some of the homies out here saying some words in Hebrew that are, like, we don't know what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? But it just kind of, like, it was just like a thing, like in New York, because no one's gonna judge in New York, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Matiyahu.
You come through the courts, it's like whatever, bro. You like really one of us.
He's an American
Especially in-
musician. He's a reggae singer, rapper, beatboxer, and
Yo.
alternative rock musician. Known for blending spiritual themes with reggae.
I love this.
Yeah, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. It was like very interesting because you know he's like the dude was the homie was really bringing the culture in. You know what I'm saying? Because we're like, all right, we're not used to this kind of culture.
You met him?
No, bro. Like
Oh,
hell no. Like no, that would have been cool. I would have definitely remembered yo, bro. Like I would have been like, damn, oh. But what I'm saying is the dude like you know because everyone's like.
Handsome man.
Mixed in like the culture stuff. Like I said, the homie was Jewish and Puerto Rican.
Very handsome
So
man.
you know what I'm saying. So like, pause, bro.
What do you mean pause? I can call another man handsome.
Why? I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, hold
I'm
on,
just being that
Buster.
guy, bro. I don't care.
Dude's got some swag. I've never seen someone
Nah,
rock
man, he's tough, bro.
dreads.
He's music. He was a musician, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like he
That's
wasn't.
real.
He has
Like,
he has literally
What was he
9
from?
different
You
hairstyles.
say he's from
and
Israel?
He's killing
No,
all
I
of
don't
them.
know. I don't know.
I'm saying he has 9 different hairstyles.
Bro, where's he?
He's killing
Yo,
all.
Google it where he's from, bro. Actually, because I'm genuinely curious.
Yeah, honestly, those
Yo,
first
that's
2
what I'm
songs, fire.
Google where he's from, bro. Because he actually like I'm kind of curious. I don't know if he's from Israel. He's like actually like born in America.
Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so he's
He
not.
was born, June 30th, 1979.
Okay, so he's not too far. Wait, how far is that from New York, bro? I mean, Pennsylvania. I mean, still not.
Westchester?
Pennsylvania's, yeah, pretty far though.
Like I mean that part of Pennsylvania. I mean, because if he's from Philly, like if he would have been from Philly, I'm like, okay, well that's that's like an hour and a half if you fast on a car or on a bus, like 2
From
hours.
New York.
City.
That's so.
Yeah, I know, bro. I just like
That's
got
fun.
curious, like yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean,
Like-
It is 121 miles, so that's
Jewish
2 hours and
doing
13
reggae.
minutes.
That's like an interesting.
For
compliment.
you. So, you know,
Going the speed limit, it is 2 hours and 13 minutes. Going at mass miles per hour, probably an hour.
hour and a half, honestly. Because I'm not gonna beat the traffic. I don't care, bro. No one's beating the traffic.
Yeah,
but
traffic. will get you.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
that
the
boy's
thing
on
is,
some F,
so
9.5.
so yeah, no, the friend would just bring like
Fast
like my
Furious.
homie would just bring like he would bring those like little like it would be like any CD, it'd be like a mix of like random artists. And I remember that shit would always play like at the court. I'm like, damn.
Matiyahu.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, and also like me like listen to like a lot of metal bands, bro. People they should try to clown me. They're like, why the fuck you listen to this shit, yo? Like why you listen to this like?
Dude, metal bands go hard.
Yeah, most.
But
So I'm going a little too hard.
I get it. They're not used to that.
I'll be getting deaf.
So they're not used to. So I'm kind of like, yo, who cares, bro? You should listen to Linkin Park, bro. Don't ever clown me, ever. So,
Yeah, don't
but I was a little bit more
clown
aggressive.
someone until you knock what they're listening to.
But
'Cause some people aren't open to just listening.
But this
to
what I
your
mean.
music.
So this what I mean when you were saying something about like we don't realize we're being sheltered in a way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like think about it, bro. People like in the neighborhoods I used to live in, bro. They're not gonna listen to like metal bands like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like they're not. So it's gonna be like I understand we're closed off. So when I used to think of like sheltered, I think of like, you know, traditional like white kid from a high class neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of like don't really know how like it works like in the inner city. You know what I'm saying? The hood like.
I think a good way to like tell if you're sheltered or not is if you have time to call out someone else for like who they are and what they enjoy. Like
What-
if you really have time to waste putting that energy towards someone, you must have some type of free time on your hand, because the rest of everyone, if not that person who's listening to music, is probably listening it to either get through their day or just like really enjoys it.
Mhm.
So like if you're gonna be like clown them for being them,
Yeah, and
think,
also
think
that's
of the
one
privilege
thing-
you got.
That's all like validate people. That's
Oh, sorry.
You good.
That's also like a big premise that I'm kind of on, trying to get at here. It's like validate other people. Don't deny people of what they're going through. right?
Exactly.
Like, everyone's music is good. Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Yes, there are objective measures to music that like we consider, but like socially, like
Music.
it's music.
Yeah,
man.
it's
Like,
just like
it's
it's
aesthetic.
music.
But
It's
what he's talking about is exposure to different music. Like,
Right.
If you grow up
yeah.
Listening to a certain genre.
No, but like if you
I mean, expectation, too.
culture,
Yeah.
if your cultural expectations is simply hip hop and anything other than hip hop is relatively not hard or cool.
I'm
then-
gonna say what Steve trying to say.
Sheltered.
Bro, not a lot of people in Turner's O'Donnell Heights are listening to Del West Prada. They're not listening to Bring Me the Horizon. That shit's corny to them.
Corny.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And like I
Like,
get
that's the definition
But
of
that's
sheltered though.
because it's,
but
it's exposure.
Yeah.
They're not
But
allowed
honestly-
to listen to it.
but
Oh,
it's
they're not allowed.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
keyword,
but no,
allowed.
think about it. Some of these guys gave like these bands a listen. They're like, "Yo, actually, this is not bad music." You know what I'm saying? And like, I get it. Like originally, like I said, I used to really be like, kind of like, fuck, like like it'd be like they would hate on me, and I'd be like, "What would they know about music?" You know what I'm saying? They were like, it would piss me off, and I'd be getting clowned, and I'd be like, kind of like, "Yo, like I don't always just want to listen to rap. Sometimes I just want to like, just
Vibe out.
ride my bike and just like listen to some like
Vibe.
rock."
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? I'm just trying to vibe, you know? And it would just be kind of like weird, but I didn't realize that I was being sheltered in a way that wasn't what people think of the conventionally being sheltered, like I said. And I was like, oh shit, like I understand now when people, because one time I got called sheltered by a person that was like, they were, I don't know, I don't want to call them rich, but they were just kind of like, what I would be like, damn, bro, you calling me sheltered? Like, dog, you didn't even know, like, you didn't even know this place even existed. Like, and I'm kind of, but I was like, I see where he's coming from, because I wasn't aware of like certain music out there like that. Like one of my friends introduced me to EDM. Not a big fan of it, but like I was like, oh, I could never get into it, bro. Like no matter what, to this day, I just cannot get into it. But
Too loud.
no, it's not that. I just can't get into it. Like I just,
Chainsmokers?
bro, no, I just can't get into it. I know who they are, but like I just
I
can't.
try.
I just can't get into them. Like I just can't. Like it's just for me, it's just not my vibe. But some of those people those DJs though, they be killing it though. Like I couldn't do it. So there's that. But I just, like I said, I don't. But pretty much, but you know what I'm saying, Steven, right? It's just like the people there would just not give these people a second. And I would always think like, people from these like upper class neighborhoods, like, yo, they listen to rap and shit. Like, yo, they're really actually being in a way like open minded in a way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, it never dawned on me until I was like,
The hood is sheltered too.
yeah, it took me a while to understand
We're all
that.
sheltered. And
That's what I'm saying. Getting
That's
at.
why travel. Like,
It took me a while to understand, right? Because I'm not gonna lie, bro. When I was younger, I used to clown people like, man, I would never be like these people in this small ass town, never leaving, like never leaving home. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I catch myself being like, it could never be me, like literally. And so sometimes I'm like, damn, hold up, bro, I gotta chill out, because like, kind of wilding a little bit, but.
Closing off your perspective.
Yeah. But sometimes they can't travel because money reasons too. So that's a big one too. So I learned that.
But not just,
Yeah, but great way to learn is to travel if you can.
Yep.
Obviously, like money is money.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, like there are definitely. I mean, like that's the whole thing. It serves coping serves a purpose, and that purpose is to kind of control anxiety or whatever to help you get through whatever you're going through. For me, at least. And yeah, there are definitely things that I don't want to do that are good coping mechanisms. Like they are good coping mechanisms, but they're also unhealthy. So it's like, then there are healthy coping mechanisms and unhealthy coping mechanisms too. So like I'm kind of tying it back to what we're talking about too. I mean, it's just like, I just find like it's interesting, like thinking about like what it means to be sheltered, and like, it's and in a lot of ways, like it's not something we can completely control. It's not like we can control if we're sheltered or not. It's just
Yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
we just are.
It's just the birth lottery. It took me a while to understand that.
it's the environment.
Yeah.
So I mean, so I think a big part about being open-minded is just acceptance, like of where you are and who you are, and that's a hard one to come to all the time. And it's a practice. Like being grateful is a practice. It's not like you can just do it all the time. Maybe you can, but it takes time and persistence to learn how to do it all the time.
Yes, that consistency is key. But all right, so we're coming up on that hour mark. Myer, I just wanted to thank you for coming on. This was great.
Thank you so much.
Shout out.
So, closing the podcast. This is Piece by Piece, episode 6. Thank you for listening. You matter. Always prioritize your mental health. Always check in with yourself. Check in with those you care about. And Mess, anything you'd like to say before we end?
Drink water and you're.
And then thank you from our side commentary from Steve. Great man. And yes, that is it. So
Man of the hour for real.
the rest of you have a great day.
Hungry boy. I'm
Nah, dude, I'm
that was a great
fucking
episode.
starving, bro.
Same. I was about to
Shit.
grab
Bro,
my
the clap,
bag.
The clap.
Oh, audio cap. 3, 2, 1.
Bro, we can tell where all of us are hungry, bro. Because as soon as the thing stopped, blood sugar's like, oh, it's a thing, bro. Because I'm.
I just stood up and oh my god.